do have right now some breaking news we have been covering since Liberation Day, April the 2nd. All of the fallout from President Trump's sweeping tariff regime. Remember, it's been mired in court. We're getting a ruling from an appellate court on the issue of President Trump's tariffs. So, live picture there at the White House. This is breaking right now. This is what we know. A U.S. Appeals Court ruling today that most of the president's tariffs are illegal. Reuters says that undercuts the president's use of the levies as a key international economic policy tool here. So this is breaking right now. Now, the court allowed the tariffs to remain in place through October 14th to give the Trump administration a chance to file an appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court here. So the tariffs, they're still in place, but this court ruled that they're illegal. Now we'll see whether or not the highest court in the land takes them up. So this is what we know, reading from Reuters. You know, Trump has made tariffs a pillar of foreign policy in his second term. He uses them to exert political pressure and to renegotiate trade deals with countries that export goods to us, to the U.S. Now, the tariffs have given the administration leverage to extract economic concessions from trading partners, but have also increased volatility in financial markets. So the court said this, quote, "The statute bestows significant authority on the president to undertake a number of actions in response to a declared national emergency, but none of these actions explicitly include the power to impose tariffs, duties, or the like, or the power to tax." Now, according to Reuters, the Treasury, the U.S. Trade Representative's Office, and the Commerce Department had no immediate response to this ruling today. This just came down within the last few minutes here. So remember, we had been asking a lot of our economists and financial experts, does the president have the authority to use the rationale of national security and emergency powers to apply to his tariff policy? This court says no. So this is a decision from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit in D.C. addressing the legality of what Trump calls reciprocal tariffs imposed as part of his trade war back in April, as well as those separate set of tariffs on countries like China, Canada, and Mexico. So the court's decision does not impact tariffs issued under other legal authority, like Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum. He did not use the emergency powers rationale to implement and levy those. So Trump justified both sets of tariffs, as well as his more recent tariffs, under what's known as the IEEPA. Now, that stands for the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. It's a piece of legislation. It gives the president the power to address, quote-unquote, unusual and extraordinary threats during national emergencies. Well, this appellate court says you can't use tariffs in that situation, saying they do not constitute a quote-unquote national emergency. So this law was passed way back when in 1977. It had historically been used for imposing sanctions on enemies or freezing their assets. Trump, though, he is the first president to use this law to impose tariffs. He says the measures were justified, given the trade balances and imbalances we have seen with so many various countries, and also declining U.S. manufacturing power, and also the cross-border flow of drugs from Canada and Mexico. So had to get this in there. Reuters has the headline. They just posted on X. I was reading from their piece that this appeals court ruling most of Trump's tariffs are illegal, undercutting the president's use of the levies as a key international economic policy tool. They say, though, the case is widely expected to be appealed to the Supreme Court. So that'll definitely be one to look out for once the High Court, I should say, if the High Court decides to take it up.